Welcome to the show, everybody. It's the Crypto Lark. Today we're going to be talking about ICOs and how to keep yourself safe out there in ICO land. After a quick shout out to everyone who has been hitting that like button, of course, and everybody who has been subscribing to the channel. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, make sure you hit that button down below to stay up to date with all of the latest in the crypto space. Furthermore, this is of course not professional financial advice. This is just a dude talking about cryptocurrencies on that crazy place we call the internet. Let's get into it, guys. Now, ICOs are very exciting, and there are a lot of them right now. And essentially, what everybody wants from an ICO is sick gains. Like this guy, he's had too many ICOs, this dude here. Now, there are a lot of people out there who talk a lot about ICOs. Ian Bellina, for example, has made millions of dollars in the last year just investing in ICOs. And that's it. It's a great success story, and a lot of people do very well off investing into ICOs. However, you have to be aware of the huge potential risks involved in ICOs. And I thought we'd give some interesting stories here for you today. Now look, Singularity Net sold out in 60 seconds, which is not a problem. Singularity Net was a great ICO for the people who were able to get involved in that. That was a fantastic ICO to get involved in. However, it sold out in 60 seconds, which is kind of problematic because what we end up resulting in are gas wars. This is where people are paying exorbitant fees in order to get their transactions through before everybody else. And look, this can potentially add a substantial cost onto the ICO you're investing in, of course, depending on how much you're trying to invest, obviously, but nevertheless, this has been causing a problem. Of course, it's been causing a problem for the network too, because only so many transactions per second can go through. Right? Remember, Ethereum's only running about 13 to 15 transactions per second right now. And if you have thousands of people trying to get into an ICO in 1 minute, you bet your bottom dollar you're going to run into problems. Now that is one particular aspect of how ICOs are problematic at the moment. Of course, there are just straight up scams too. And this is so hard in this space because projects that look really good can just be straight up scams, guys. This is one of the most recent scams. A company called Protium was just a straight up scam, unfortunately. You know, one thing you always want to watch out for is, do they have public teams? Have they done AMAs? Different things like this. You know, are they accessible? What are other people saying about it on the internet? Sometimes there is just FUD. You know, somebody comes out and says, makes up a bunch of, wild claims, and it's just FUD. You know, you don't know who that person is. It's just somebody on a Reddit or something like this, and you have to do your own research here, guys. You have to dig deeper. You have to find out, is this justified what's being said? And then sometimes they can look totally legit. No one's saying anything, and they're just a massive scam. These guys got $6.5 million. Walked away and left a picture of a penis on the website that used to be there. That's pretty bold. That's pretty bold. This just keeps happening, though. There are ICO scams. Even the good ICOs that are not scams may not work out. Remember, you're investing in startups here most of the time, and some of these are run by amazing companies with huge teams and lots of venture capital behind them. When you see that big VC money behind them, you kind of get a feeling, hey, actually, someone's done their homework on this, and they've invested a lot of money. You know, some of the top projects we've seen have been like that. That being said, these are startups, and they will fail. Not all of them, but some of them will definitely fail. In the regular non-cryptocurrency world, startups fail all the time. That doesn't mean it's a scam, but then there are just straight scams, guys, which is a real problem. Now, there are so many ways to get scammed. Limpo, for example, .io, not a scam. Nice little ICO rolling, selling an interesting product. However, somebody last week made a website called limpo.one. And they scammed a little bit. They didn't get too much, but they did scam some people. Nucleus Vision had the same thing happen. Usually this will happen just before an ICO is supposed to start, and they'll come out and say, hey, a pre-ICO has started, or the pre-ICO has started, or whatever it is, and the website will look very, very similar, but it won't be their website. It will, of course, be a scam trying to steal your money. Hackers, they'll just get in. Now, this happened to Expery a few days ago. $150,000 in Ethereum were stolen in a pre-ICO sale. Again, straight up fraud. At least the guys over at Expery were good enough to refund people their money. So if you had invested into that fraudulent address, they were honoring that and giving tokens out from the team's allocation, actually. So that was pretty decent of them to do. TheKEY was an ICO that brought in some worst practices. Now, look, the site crashed. That was a silly thing. They should have, of course, known that there'd be massive demand. A lot of people trying to use their website. The Telegram went absolutely to hell. Porn, scams, memes, all the fun stuff like that. And most problematically, they upped the price of the token minutes before the sale. Now, this is the worst of the worst behavior in an ICO. For them to realize, hey, we've actually got this massive demand, let's just take more money because we can. That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. And, you know, we've seen this in other ICOs, and we'll see it again for sure. Now, one I want to talk about today is BeeToken. BeeToken has got their ICO going on right now at the time of recording this video, and it's been a big problem. Essentially what has happened, someone seems to have got a hold of their mailing list somehow. Now, how that happened, were they hacked? Was it an inside job? Was it just bad security? Who knows, right? But that's the reality of the situation. Somebody got a hold of their email list, has been emailing people, and the result, at the moment, $553,000 of Ethereum in one scam account, and $273,000 in scam account number 2. Now, by the end of the day, they will probably have taken $1 million. They were only trying to raise $5 million in this sale, too. Now, look, we haven't heard anything from the BeeToken team at the time of recording this video again, whether or not they're going to be honoring the people who got scammed, what happened, were they hacked, etc., etc., etc. But it makes it really hard. Even when it seems legit, it's not legit, guys. And of course, their Telegram has descended into utter chaos of constant posting of scam addresses trying to scam people even more. You have to be so careful, guys. Of course, only the official website is the only place you should ever be investing in an ICO. Make sure you're on the actual website, that it's not a mirror website. And it can be really tricky sometimes. You know, capital L's can be turned into capital I's and stuff like this, and so it can be very, very tricky. Make sure you are on the right website. Very, very important, guys. Now, another dimension to what's happened over at BeeToken, and it's still early days. I don't want to be spreading any unnecessary FUD, but this is more of a commentary on the entire ICO space, not a BeeToken specific thing. What happens to everyone's data? If it turns out to be true that a hacker did get a hold of the email addresses, well, what else did they get? Did they get everyone's KYC information? Do they now have everyone's copies of photo IDs? Do they now have everyone's copies of addresses and things like this? Where was that stored? Was that all stored in an unencrypted, centralized place? We don't know. Problems, of course, yet again, with transparency in ICOs, because it's centralized. And this is a problem. The ICOs themselves are centralized, and even though they might be trying to decentralize the world with their blockchain solutions, the actual ICO is held in such a centralized way that it's just so open for the kind of tomfoolery that happens here. And problematically, there's no incentive for the ICOs to change. There really isn't. Gas Wars, they don't care how much you got to pay to get into the ICO. Did you get hacked on Mirror Site? We don't care. Did you get hacked because we got hacked? Pfft, whatever. We still raised our money. Don't care, right? Because they keep getting paid, because there's such high demand in the market right now for ICOs, you really have to find an ICO where they're trying to prove a point by putting in the best practices, because it's so easy just not to care because you're going to raise the money no matter what, which sucks. Now, this year, we are going to see a definite move towards the right practices in ICOs. It has to happen. The market has got so out of control. The way that ICOs are being handled right now is so sloppy. We have got to see better systems put into place. Robinhood, for example, will be offering an ICO underwriting service, so at least you can know you're not investing into a scam because they've gone out and done the due diligence for you. Binance has their launch pad. Now, this is so you can actually invest in the ICO on the Binance website. I think this is freaking fantastic. We need more services just like this. The guys over at Kick ICO do a similar thing. Essentially, it is a trusted service where you can go, you're not investing in the scam address. For example, you can actually just buy the tokens on the exchange. Fantastic. We have got to see this go big league, guys. Now, Vitalik has also brought forth the ICO model, so the decentralized ICO, essentially bringing together a DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization, and the ICO to hopefully make them more secure. Now, let's see how this model does roll out. We have our first few ICOs that are going to be test running this. We have an ICO called the Abyss, and we have an ICO called Rocket ICO. We do need these best practices. The guys over at Neon Exchange have promised the best practices for their ICO. I think a lot of people are going to be watching them to see if they do indeed do that. We need to have some standards set. We need to have the market, you as consumers, us as consumers of ICO products, we've got to start demanding more from ICOs. We're also desperate to get in there and, put up our, a little bit of Ethereum that we're going to put on, that we actually too often don't stop to say, hey, you know what? You should be doing more for us, ICO. It's not just about, getting those sick gains. Like, can you protect our data? Can you protect our investment? Can you actually handle your security during the important time? Just some tips and hints for you guys. If you're going to be investing in any ICO, of course, make sure you verify and re-verify that the address, the contract address where you're going to be sending your money, is legit. So important. Of course, that can be really tough to do double checking when an ICO sells out in 60 seconds. You're really pressed for time, which again, sucks. It shouldn't be like that. Verify you are on the right website. Make sure if you've received an email that it is actually from the company. Again, watch out for letters that are used in place of other letters. Don't be afraid to miss out. That's important, guys. Because if you feel that sort of time pressure and you're not sure about something, you're willing to put a few $1,000s of your own money up, if you miss out, well, it's okay. You can always get it on the exchange later, and yeah, I know you won't get as big of a price gain as getting in and getting involved in that ICO, but don't be afraid to miss out. You're better off to miss out than to send money to scammers. Make sure you are doing your own research. Trust your gut, guys. If you feel like something's not quite right with an ICO, don't put your money in it. There'll be another one tomorrow, probably 5 more tomorrow. If you feel like something's not right with the whole process that you're going through, don't do it. No one's pushing you to do these ICOs, guys. If something seems fishy, ask a friend. Hey, Bob, do you think this sounds fishy? It sounds pretty fishy to me, Lark. Okay. Thanks, Bob. Seriously, guys. Reach out to the teams on Telegram. Ask them questions. Demand from them. Say, hey, you know what? We've all been talking. There's 100 of us, and we're not going to invest our money in your ICO unless you provide better service, set the right kind of caps for example. We have seen more caps coming in, which is good. But even that may not work because there is, of course, such massive demand. WePower, for example, has almost 200,000 people trying to get into the sale. It's crazy. Anyway, guys, be safe out there in ICO land. This is just some public service announcement stuff for you guys to be safe. Long live the blockchain, and peace out till next time.